All right. Let me get the rest of this here, coming in from another job here. So you have to excuse me, I'm just running and getting everything through its paces pretty quickly. It's good to be back here again at the QuaranPalooza. And again, big thanks to everyone who's tuning in. I know, of course, it's great, all the performers that are here today as well, doing a really good thing here, trying to help Cancer Connections in San Fran. And I know it's one of those things, sometimes people forget, that you're doing a really good job of coming in here, not just to see live music, but also that you get to help a really good cause. So I think that's a wonderful thing. Can't forget that at all. My name is Andrew Kasab. I'm an artist based out of Raleigh, North Carolina area. And I'm going to do a bunch of pieces here today. I'm going to bring out a bunch of different instruments. And so this one right here, this is the first instrument that I have for the day. This is a baritone guitar. So bust out a little bit on this. Can you hear me okay, John?
Sounds great.
Excellent. All right. All right. This is a good one. This is one that I wrote called New York Avenue. And I'm originally from Washington, D.C. area. And one of the funs of driving through the eastern part of the city into the city, you get to drive on New York Avenue, which is a wonderful bumpy encountering of as many potholes as you can imagine to go in and out of. And of course, you go right into the heart of the city. It's a pretty wild street. It's kind of fun to travel on. And there's some really nice little locations along the way there. So I encourage you, next time that you're in the DC area, go on that New York Avenue. You can go over by where there's the Arboretum and the Capitol Columns. There's some really cool stuff there to check out where you wouldn't really think. So this is one called New York Avenue. Here we go. Thank you. This right here, this is a little different kind of instrument. This right here is a harp guitar. And one of the things that's kind of neat with it is there's only a few harp guitarists in the United States that play around. I think that the last I counted, there's about 4, including myself. Internationally, there's no more than a dozen that really play. And it's kind of fun. I know that I'll be hopefully doing a little bit more touring coming up this next year. So, hopefully I'll get to do a couple more of these coming up. This is always a great thing to be here, and big thanks to the man at the top of the screen over about there, Mr. John Rybeck, for putting this all together, and everybody who's joining in and contributing to this musically and otherwise. Thank you very, very much for being here. All right. I'm going to do a bunch of pieces on this as well, and then switch it up. I have at least one more instrument in hand I can play. This is one of the pieces I wrote from touring through West Virginia, and it's called The Empty Glass, because there's a place up there. It's a legendary place. It's rated as one of the top 1,000 venues to play, and it's in Charleston. Kind of a strange place that you wouldn't think that there would be one of those magical little venues to stop across, but it's the Empty Glass in Charleston, West Virginia. So if you ever get a chance to go there, I would check it out. And they're really good people. Can't beat that. Thank you. All right. I'm going to keep going with another one here. It's on the harp guitar. And one of the things that I love with this is a couple of adapted pieces. Generally, on this instrument, you either are writing something for it or you're rearranging something for it. And there's not very many harp guitarists out there that really release a whole lot of music. There's Stephen Bennett is still out there, and so is Andy McKee. And I know Stephen's getting up there in age. Andy McKee is still traveling around a little bit too, and I know sometimes he brings his harp guitar and sometimes not. There's another young person, her name is Yasmin Williams. She's fantastic. She's a wonderful, wonderful soul, and she's out there playing. She does a little bit on the harp guitar as well, and she does a lot of kind of like Eric Moongrain style tapping as well. She's really fantastic to see. Wonderful person. So you can see that there's a couple of artists that are still rolling around, but not a whole lot is really written. And so one of the things that I found when I started picking this up in around 2007 or so is that I took what I studied on the guitar as alternate tunings and then just tried to swing it over to this as well. I think one of the best things too is I had a chance when I was in California playing a couple of years ago is that I got to run into the gentleman who, Peppino D'Agostino, and let him know that I was totally demolishing his tunes for well over a decade and apologized for it. He said, well, keep doing it. So I will take that as a good license to continue. So this is two of his pieces I'm going to slap together. The first one's Echoes of Delphi Valley, which he wrote, I think it's Valley in Greece. And then the other one is Acoustic Spirit. And of course, he originally wrote these on just an acoustic guitar. And so here I've retranslated a little bit to a harp guitar. So if you listen to that original, it's going to be a little different. He's phenomenal too. Fantastic musician. Thank you very much. Thank you again, John, and big thanks again to you and all the good folks here. I know this is it's a good cause you're helping out Cancer Connections here, and pretty much every last Saturday of the month, John's been running this. How many years have you been doing this now, John?
Oh, for 5, but I don't do it monthly anymore. Sorry.
Oh, that's
Like,
okay.
yeah, it was too much. I had no life.
Be a slave to charity there. Good. Well, and I think this is it is a hard thing to just kind of keep going and really run it. But again, big thanks to all the people here, especially if you're watching today. My name is Andrew Kasab. This is a harp guitar, and even after my performance, there's going to be a ton of great performers. If you're on Pacific time, if you're on Mountain, Central, Eastern time, or somewhere else around the world, then that'd be pretty cool. It's really great that you're checking out what's going on here and contributing to a good cause. I'm going to play another piece on this one here, and then I'll swing it over to the last instrument that I have in the stand. I paid for the strings. I'm going to use them. Whether they stay in tune or not. I'm going to do one last one here on the harp guitar. This is one that I actually wrote. It was the first one that I wrote on the harp guitar, and when I started playing it in 2007, it was pretty cool. Actually, I got to play a music festival that I first started playing that there right down the road earlier this year in Carborough, North Carolina, and it's really cool. I love whenever you write something or if you're arranging something and it just kind of grows from what it is. I know that there's going to be a lot of original music performers here today too, and certainly you'll see that they're working that craft as well. All right, here's one that I wrote. It's called Over There. I'm going to play the last little bit here on just a guitar. It's just a guitar. And once again, big thanks to everybody showing up here. I know it's one of those things that sometimes is tricky to really kind of get these things coordinated and happening. John will be the first one to tell you that. And all these performers that are throwing their time and efforts in here, it's really fantastic. But even more so, if you're watching, you're the ones that are really helping to make a big difference. I know Cancer Connections in San Francisco really appreciates what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing, and all right. I'm gonna play another one. I think I got time for maybe about one more. Yeah, this one is a one it's pretty fantastic. I love this. This is Tommy Emmanuel, who's a phenomenal performer, wrote this piece called Endless Road. And I know that he's on that endless road. I feel like that too. This is, actually, I just jumped into, this is my 40th year as a stage performer, and it's pretty fantastic year. So I'm really thankful for that. Here's a Tommy Emmanuel song. Stick around and hang on. There's going to be more music here in a second too. Thank you so much. All right.
Can you
Hey,
do one?
again, big thanks to
more?
John. Yeah,
One more? I know you've been playing a long time. Can you do one more?
I'm gonna do one more for you, John. I got a good one for you, actually, of all things. I have this is a classic. I know Dave Gans probably has heard this one. This was I love the lyrics on this. Of all things, I had a good friend of mine who loved Robert Hunter and loved the Dead, followed him around a lot. And to me, this is one of those songs that really speaks to it just on the side of the lyrics here. So I'll do a good one here for you real quick. And thanks again for helping to contribute to Cancer Connections. Thank you, Big Man John, up on the screen right over there. I had a hard run running from your window. Was all night running. Lord, I wonder if you care. I had a run around and a run down. Run around the corner. I'll run smack into a tree. I had to move, really had to move. That's why, if you please, I'm on my bended knee. Bertha, don't you come around here anymore. Dress myself in green. It all went down under the sea. Try to see what's going down, baby. Try to read between the lines. I had a little falling. Lord, I turned around to see. Heard a voice calling out. You were running after me, after me. I had to move, really had to move. That's why, if you please, I'm on my bended knee. Bertha, don't you come around here anymore. Run into a rainstorm. Lord, run smack into a bottle. Was all night pouring. Lord, not a drop on me. Test me, test me. Lord, why don't you arrest me? Threw me in the jailhouse. Lord, until the sun go down. I had to move, really had to move. That's why, if you please, I'm on my bended knee. Bertha, don't you come around here anymore. I had to move, really had to move. That's why, if you please, I'm on my bended knee. Bertha, don't you come around here anymore.
That was the short version.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And big thanks to everybody showing up. Thank you, David. I appreciate you. I look forward to the next soiree that you have here, John. And thank you very much so again, up there on the top of the screen, keeping everything in line and making sure that everybody pulls through and what they need to be doing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great set.
Thank you.
Thanks for the overtime, too. All right, next up.